What's going on, family? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today for another stream. This podcast is called Comma Conversations. If this is your first time tuning in, Comma Conversations has two meanings, right? The first meaning is because we all are different things in this world. We all different things to different people. And this is a world that tries to put us in a box, tries to silo us off into different places. Just checking on the stream, family, to make sure I am indeed live, and I am. This is a world that tries to silo us off, right? And label us and put labels on us that we can't escape. So the first comma in Comma Conversations is about embracing the duality of who we are, right? We can be this, comma, that. You can be a husband, comma, a son. You could be a brother, comma, somebody who owns a business, comma, somebody who work a 9 to 5, comma, somebody who wants to see your community do good. The other part of this comma conversation is because we trying to be successful, family. We trying to get at $1. So when we have guests on this platform, we talking in some way about how you can better yourself, how you can better your community. And a lot of that is with, furthering yourself and putting money in your own pocket. With that being said, just a little quick advertisement before we get the stream jumping. Today, I want to talk about this news coming out of the sports world. Skip Bayless getting fired off of FS1 Undisputed. That's a wild turn of events that I think everybody saw coming, and definitely karma. But before I get into that, listen, if you're in the Philadelphia area, if you're in Jersey, if you're in New York, if you're in Delaware, if you're somewhere in the tri-state area, listen, on August 31st, we're going to be having an in-person live event, Black Business Networking. This is a place for Black-owned businesses. This is a place for Black professionals in the community. If you don't got a business or you're not an entrepreneur, that shouldn't stop you from coming. This is about getting in a space of being around productive, positive people in the community, and co-working and doing what we got to do. So, I'm about to cook. I'm about to cook on this one. I was thinking about this while I was at work today. I said, when I get home, I'm going to jump on the stream, and this is what I'm going to do. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless fired. Out on ESPN. Now, before I start speaking my commentary, let me read a little bit, right, so that I'm getting the sources correct. So this is coming from the New York Post. All right. It's the end of an era at FS1. Skip Bayless is leaving his role as co-host of Undisputed at the network after 8 years, the Post has learned. His final show will be later this summer. Bayless referred the post to Fox Sports PR, which declined the comment. Okay. The new iteration, which featured a rotating group of panelists, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. All right, let's go down. It was going to be an uphill climb, as Sharp was arguably as compelling a debate foe for Bayless as Stephen A. Smith had been on First Take during his time at ESPN. The show took a couple months off last summer following Sharp's departure and never regained the momentum. Another stat that I seen on this, right? If you Google Undisputed ratings drop, the first thing to come up last Thursday, heading into the Sweet 16 of NCAA tournaments and toward the NBA playoffs and NFL drafts. So this has got to be this is from April, this article. But regardless, right? Undisputed averaged just 48,000 viewers during its mid-morning slot. That equals the smallest audience of any Undisputed broadcast since it returned from its hiatus last September, per John Lewis of Sports Media Watch. Where the white people at? Let me holler at the white people real quick. Let me holler at my white friends and family out there. because I want to talk about this Skip Bayless, but this incident happens in a broader scope of what's happening in America right now. So let me highlight the white people, right? It's very important to understand the time that you're living in. Timing is really, truly everything. You have to understand the time that you're living in. For my Christian family, it's a very famous verse in the Bible. You know, it's a time for everything. It's a time for sowing. It's a time for reaping the harvest. It's a time for laughing. It's a time for crying. It's a time for everything under the sun. It's very important to understand what time you're living in. There's a surah in the Holy Quran called El Asr, the time. I remember hearing the minister speak about this for the very first time. By the time, surely man is in loss except for those who believe and do good and exhort themselves to truth and exhort themselves to patience. What does this have to do with this whole coincidence, this whole instance? And I'm talking about the time and understanding the time that you're living in. There was a time in America where the members of the dominant society could get away with enacting whatever they wanted to enact upon black people in the media world, in the business world, in the corporate world. There was absolutely a time where you could underhandedly cut black Americans in the corporate setting and in the media setting, and you would still get support from majority members of the dominant society, and you would even get support from fellow black Americans who really boost up these shows and boost up the ratings and the entertainment industry all the way from the beginnings of Hollywood. Even when we weren't allowed to act in movies, it was just people in blackface. But the foundations of Hollywood are built on this black experience, right? And hearing from black people and being obsessed with what black people got going on, even if it was from a stereotypical aspect, right? So there was absolutely a time, and Skip Bayless lived through this time. In the 70s, you could do this. In the 80s, you could do this. There was absolutely a time where you could move foul to black America. You could treat black America any type of way, and you would still be successful. And you would still get be able to sweep those wrongdoings under the rug, and you could still outwardly be very successful and still get the support of your field. And I want to say that because there was absolutely a time that you could do that. That's not the time that y'all live in anymore. The time of your grandparents and the time of your parents and the time of your great grandparents, you're not living in that time anymore. It's not. You got a whole new crop of people out here. You got a whole new crop of black folk out here that don't get down with that. They do not get down with that. Now, for the people who wondering why am I taking this angle with it, right? We know why the good Unc Shannon Sharp left Undisputed. We understand the disrespect that was levied against him by Skip Bayless. We understand why he left Undisputed. Now, I want to talk for a second about this whole concept of saying the right thing. Because, no, Skip Bayless never called him a racial slur. Skip Bayless never, said anything derogatory towards the African American community when he was on live. Of course not. Because a lot of time, especially in the left, the political left or the progressive class in the dominant society, it's this mindset of, we got to be allies. We got to be, we can't overtly show the way we feel, so we have to put on this facade of, oh, I'm an ally, I'm gonna say the right things, oh, Black Lives Matter, when in reality, you think the same way about us that any other racist on the street thinks about us, but you hide it behind this facade of, oh, I'm an ally, I'm gonna say the right things, oh, I support, oh, what happened to George Floyd was terrible. But behind closed doors, you think the same way about us. I'm going to give y'all a test to show how much really of an ally somebody is. And all this is coming back around to Skip Bayless. So just slow walk this with me. If there's a white person that's in your circle, whether it be a coworker at the job, a manager at the job, somebody that's in your circle, and they come to you with oh, I'm an ally, I care so much about the black struggle and the black community, and oh my gosh, I'm not one of those type. Oh, I think it's horrific. Okay. When you're subordinate to them, when you're making less money than them, when you got a lower position than them, when you wield less power in the corporate sense than them, it's very easy for them to be a quote-unquote ally. Now, really showing that you're an ally, really showing that you're not a racist, comes when I have more power than you, when I have more wealth than you, when I have more shine, more clout, more opportunity than you, and you still sing that same praise of, oh, I'm such an ally, I believe in you, let's do this thing. Skip Bayless could not do that. It was very clear from watching Undisputed as it transpired over the past season or two. It was very clear that when Shannon Sharpe came into his role as a co-host, and it was clear and defined that this is Skip Bayless' show. And he's the person in the driver's seat of this show. And he's the one who has the name and the recognition, and this is his gig. When that was the seat that Shannon Sharpe was sitting in, and he would say, oh, I fought for you to get this, and I fought to give you an opportunity. It was all buddy-buddy. It was all brother-brother. But as time progressed, and we seen Shannon Sharpe start to do the most recognizable things that he did with the goat mask and King Goat James, and he got, viral for that many times in the Club Shay Shay, and he will be serving people fresh hot L's, and what it became very clear that Shannon Sharpe was the dominant force in that show. And that burned Skip Bayless alive. That burned him alive. We could see the seethingness in his eyes when it became very apparent. Let me not scream into the mic. I see I'm making the mic clip. It became very apparent when the switch happened, when Skip Bayless was no longer the front runner, when he was no longer the most popular and powerful force on that show. It became very apparent when the switch happened that people were not tuning in to see Skip Bayless. They were tuning in to see Uncle Shannon Sharpe. Very apparent. Also, when Shannon Sharpe would make comments, which wouldn't even really be directed at Skip, but you know what they say, a hit dog hollers. He would say things like, well, I'm a Hall of Fame athlete. I've performed at the highest level in my field. Y'all sit up here and y'all talk in your field about the players, which of course you have to be excellent in your field of journalism. But Shannon Sharpe was not shy to say, I'm operating in your field at the highest level, but you could never operate in my field at the highest level. And even though he wasn't directly saying that to Skip, I saw that shit burn Skip up when he would make comments like that. I seen this dude seething. I told my wife, This ain't finna go the way that everybody think it's finna go. So, then came the infamous put your glasses back on comment, right? Skip Bayless sitting across from Shannon Sharpe. I don't even have the date of when this happened, but this was clearly towards the last 6 months of the show, right? Skip Bayless was sitting across from Shannon Sharpe. They were discussing Tom Brady and Tom Brady's greatness. And however the conversation went, Skip Bayless was pounding the table saying, Tom Patrick Brady is the best of the whoop-de-whoop. And obviously Tom Brady is the GOAT. This really don't even have nothing to do with Tom Brady. But for the purpose of this was their conversation. Skip made an offhanded comment to Shannon Sharpe, who was debating him. Clearly, Skip was losing the debate because he flew off the handle and he said, well, you could never be as good as Tom Brady. Tom Brady was better in your field than you could have ever hoped to be. You would never be as good as Tom Brady. Throwing a personal attack at Shannon Sharpe, which lets me know, like I said before, a hit dog hollers. When Shannon Sharpe was making general comments about how not only was he a Hall of Fame football player, arguably the best tight end to ever play the game, completely revolutionized the tight end position, and completely revolutionized. He was one of those Hollywood marquee players. Even when I was a kid, I used to love watching Shannon Sharpe. I loved all the theatrics. That's why him and Ocho get along. But I'm getting off topic. But the whole president, call in the guards, call in the Coast Guard, help is on the way. That's an iconic video of Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe was great in both fields that he occupied, right? But that's neither here nor there. It became very clear that it was Skip Bayless's agenda to take personal shots at brother Shannon Sharpe. It became very clear that he was taking personal attacks at Uncle Shay Shay. So when he said, you'll never be as good as Tom Brady. Tom Brady was better than you could ever hope to be in your field. And Shannon Sharpe took his glasses off. And he said, now, what are we doing here? We at work. We at work. You levying a personal attack against me. We sitting here debating sports shows. You levying a personal attack against me. Now you know that when an old black man take his glasses off and look at you and slow everything down, when that uncle figure, when that pop-up figure or that dad figure take his glasses off and look at you, you better stop effing around. You better stop playing around. You know what Skip Bayless said? Skip Bayless said, put your glasses back on. Put your glasses back on. And when he said that, I seen the pain in Unc's eyes when he said that. I seen the pain in his eyes. Because not only do we know exactly what you wanted to say, Skip, we know exactly what you wanted to say. You understand? Black people, especially black Americans, because we been here with y'all. You might be able to pull that on the Emmanuel Ochos, right? And the people that's immigrants that just came over here. You might be able to pull that on them. But when you say, like you said to him, put your glasses back on, we know what words you wanted to come out your mouth. We know exactly what you was trying to say without saying. Like Monique said when she was sitting down with Shannon Sharpe. We all heard that so boy, put your whoo. And I seen the pain in Unc's eyes because not only is you taking a personal shot and attack against me and going so low with such an undertone of racism in it, you supposed to be my boy. We've been sitting across the table from each other for years. Politicking with each other for years. Being buddy and friends for years. Making this money together for years. Boosting each other up for years. We've been doing this for years. But it's clear to me now that I see how you was really feeling about me this whole time. Because like I said earlier, all that buddy, super woke ally stuff, let some money and power get involved. Let's see how much of a buddy ally you really are. So I seen the pain in Brother Shannon Sharp eyes when that happened, man. That I remember watching that for the first time. It shocked and appalled me. Absolutely shocked and appalled me. But one thing about God is absolutely going to protect his children. God is absolutely going to put on his children. This is why I started out this broadcast saying, white people, good-meaning, good-hearted white people, understand the time that you're living in. You're not living in a time where you're going to do something like that and pop fly like that and operate with an undertone of racism like that. You're not living in a time where the universe is going to reward that. Call it what you want to. Call it karma. Call it the time. Call it God. Call it the culture of the people changing and the mindsets. A mixture of all that. This ain't the time for that. You gotta really stand on what you stand on. I understand you're not used to that. You used to being able to just pop crazy like that at black people. And it just all ends up working out because you got the system behind you. No. Not today. This ain't the time that you living in today. That's not the time. So Skip Bayless thinks that he's gonna be able to blackball Unc out the industry. And when you hear Shannon Sharp talk about it like that, when you hear him talk about this, he very gracious. He's still very gracious. He's still professional and save face. But I don't work for sports, not like that. I'm just a regular nigga with a 9-to-5 job, so I can pop fly for Unc that can't pop fly for himself. You thought you was going to blackball Unc out the industry. You thought you was going to do him foul. You thought you was going to get over on him. You thought, I'm going to get him out and I'm going to get the next nigga to come take his place. That's exactly what you thought. You thought, I'm going to get the next athlete to come take his place. Matter of fact, I'll get a gang of them and they'll get the same ratings he did. No. You don't. That's not how you do God's children. Not today. This is not the time for that. You operating like it's still 1970. This is not the time for that. So your show collapsed. Your ratings collapsed. 48,000 people watching your show. You're supposed to be one of the greatest sports journalists ever. You're supposed to be the person who revolutionized sports journalism. 48,000 people watching your show. Uncle Shannon Sharp got the most watched interview in YouTube history. What? The most watched YouTube interview in history with Cat Williams. Millions of followers on Club Shay Shay. Balling out on Club Shay Shay. A cultural icon. He done took it from just being sports to now a cultural icon of everything encompassing black culture and beyond. Sports, music, fashion. What? Cat Williams, Kurt Franklin. What? Glorilla. He be having everybody want to go sit on Club Shay Shay and tell their business now. And you thought that would be you, Skip Bayless. You thought that you was going to push Unc out the back door, and you thought you was going to sit here and rake in all these ratings. No. You not just catching your karma. You listen. What you did was foul. And now you reaping the repercussions of that. And I personally am watching it smiling, happy. Because not only does Unc got the Club Shay Shay popping, he got the, with Ocho, Nightcap popping. Got millions of subscribers over there. He just signed a hefty contract with Disney to be on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Balling out over there. Stephen A. Smith, sometimes he says some stuff that's kind of off code. But one thing that's, I bet when it came time to open up the door for Unc, I bet he did that. That's why I always rock with Stephen A. Smith for that. I bet when it come time to put some black people in position to get jobs, I bet Stephen A. Smith does that. I don't care what he says about OJ. If he put some icons in a position to get papered up. You feel what I'm saying? Or, everybody makes crazy comments sometimes, but is you rocking with us or you not rocking with us? Stephen A. Smith showed he rocking with the community. You feel me? And I respect that. Balling out of control, man. Every time I see the good Unc Shannon Sharp doing something, I smile. He balling out of control. I love to see it. And when I seen that news about Skip Bayless, I'm never one to try and smile at somebody else's downfall. Never that. At the end of the day, Skip Bayless got a lot more money than me. Whatever. But it's about the respect of understanding the time that you in. And that shit that you pulled, it might have worked in 1970. It might have worked in 1980. It's not working in 2024. It's not. You're not dealing with the same crop of black people that y'all done dealt with. No. Y'all not dealing with the same America that you done dealt with for years. No. You're going to have to get busy on your own merit. You're going to have to get busy and pull yourself up. Skip Bayless should have pulled his ratings up by the bootstraps, as they say. You should have figured out how to make your show better. Real talk. You should have figured out how to make your show better and get more eyeballs on it. Point blank, period. So, I guess it's no diversity and inclusion for people with shitty shows. It is what it is. Your show, it wasn't getting the ratings. It wasn't like that. You're not going to put a bad taste in the mouths of black America by doing underhanded racist shit and think that black America is going to still sit there and rock with you and you're still going to get the support of the community. You're not. And Skip Bayless found that shit out the hard way. No. We not on that type of time. We more on code than ever. Biden figuring that out right now too. Old Biden figuring out right now. It ain't. It's only so many crazy things you can say and do towards black people before we stop messing with you. Old Biden figuring that out right now. He probably don't know it, but he figured it out right now. Family, I'm about to get off the stream. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, like, subscribe, you feel me, share the video. I'm trying something new with the stream, so let me know what y'all think about that. I like jumping on here and talking my shit, though. So, but listen, this Friday, Scars and Damage, new single dropping. Me and my brother, Djax Forest. We got a new single dropping August 31st, Black Business Networking in Philadelphia, PA. It's in Germantown. You can go to the o2collection.com/events. You can get your tickets. It's amazing. It's a collaboration between myself, Sister Jalen Powell of Out Loud LLC, putting in work down there in Delaware. And we making it happen. We trying to do what we can do, family.